Hello folks, my name is Timothy Adon, composer and occasionally sound designer for video games, and today we are here with another episode of integrating Wwise into Unreal. Today, got some hair in my mouth. Today we are going to be talking about switches and possibly states, depending on how much time we have. In the last episode, we integrated Footsteps, and that was a fairly short episode, but it was in preparation for this one, which is probably going to be a fairly long episode. Also, you might be able to hear her. Hi, baby. Purr more into the mic. She woke up from her nap and just kind of cried at me a little bit until I held her. She is such a good baby. Okay, anyways, back to this. So today we're going to be handling switches. Switches are what you use to determine to switch between different kinds of sounds different kinds of the same kind of sound. So pertaining to last week's episode where I integrated footsteps, we are going to be using switches to switch between different kinds of footstep sounds. So as an example, you might have footstep sounds for concrete, footstep sounds for grass, footstep sounds for bricks, and etc., etc. So in this case, we are going to, I'm going to show you how to do that. And if I have time, I will also do the same thing for gunshots in this in this demo here. When you pick up the gun, beware of the beeping sound. Yeah. It fires this ball, which I'm also going to be changing the sound that this makes because, you know, the beep is not going to cut it. So if I have time, I will also do different impacts for the ball. But the primary focus is going to be doing switches for footsteps. And then additionally, states are a very easy thing to handle, so I'm going to try to also incorporate that into this episode. The easiest example of a states, so switches are localized. It changes the sound of the particular actor. So in this case, you know, footsteps, it would be actor specific, the player character, NPCs, etc. A state is global. And you basically turn on or off whether or not a sound is going to be affected by a particular state. And then you set up how that state will end up affecting sounds, which most of the time, like, will be volumes, low pass filters, high pass filters, any number of different effects you can also add on to a state. The easiest example that I can do in this episode is what happens when you splash into water. So I can create a box in here. Oh, bye, kitty. I can create a box in here that will essentially pretend to be a pool of water, and then we can change the sound when the player jumps in and jumps out. So we will also include that at the end of this episode. This is going to take me a couple of recording sessions. Theoretically, it should only be one episode for you, but I may miss some things here and there as I do this in a couple different sessions for myself. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to determine what materials we are going to play with. So we are going to look for project settings. This is where it was in the previous Unreal. I'm going off of previous versions of Unreal information, so this might be different. And I'm looking for, I think it's under physics. No, physics is right here. might still be there. Physics. What we're looking for, yep, it is under physics. We are looking for physical surfaces. So you'll see that there is a default, and then we have a number of surface types. So what we need to do is we need to create these surfaces ahead of time. Just moving some stuff out of the way here. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll just say concrete. I've already got concrete footsteps in this version here. We'll also do grass, and then I can't remember what I have footstep recordings for. Dirt and wood. Pretty sure I've got some recordings for that. And just for the heck of it, we'll also say metal, because if I have time for impact sounds, I will also need surfaces for what gunshots can impact. So we'll just go ahead and keep this as is. That should be all we need. So we have that, and now what we need to do is create the spaces we're going to be walking in. So let's get that done first. We need to attach those materials to the textures that they're going to be associated with, but I'm going to do that in a second. First things first, I want to add a plane. I want to add a bunch of these. So we're going to put one right. Can I turn off snapping? I don't want snapping. There we go. Just put it right there. And then we are going to scale you up. There we go. Got ourselves 4 planes, and honestly, I might also just use the floor that this comes with, which appears to just be a big cube. All right. Boom, 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 boom. So we're going to click on this, and then physical material. Static mesh. So in order to, part of what we need to do in order to get the materials in here is we need to change the mesh. So let's find no, that's not what we need. Materials. There we go. We need to find the material. So concrete, poured. So now this whole stage is poured concrete. We need to also go in here. So this is the blueprint that generates the visual of this poured concrete. And what we need to do is we need to go to physical material. Make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. Okay. So we need to create these. Cancel. So under this blueprint, go to physical material. We're going to start creating new physical materials. Once you've created it, we open it up here. And then down here under physical properties, we have a surface type. Then we're going to set that to the appropriate thingamabob in there and hit save. You can change a bunch of physical materials here too, but we're not going to need that for what we're doing. Yes. And now we just need to go and apply the materials to these majiggans. What did it? Okay. Grass, yeah, okay. Just being all weird on me. Save. Save. Dirt. Okay, so we have the material set up for the floors. Let's just also get a let's also get something else in here. Let's move. Where am I going to put a pool? I know, we'll put it right up here. So we just need a volume. Boom, 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 boom. I just kind of need... Okay, you know what? We can just do this with shapes. What the heck? I'll do this with a cube. There we go. Put it right there, and then we're going to scale it. Like that. That'll be fine. And then we're also just going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a visual appeal. But the big thing that we also need to do is we need to change its collision. We need pawns overlap. Let's see if that does what I need it to do. So let's quickly save the project. And there we go. So I can move through this. That is what we need. We just needed to also be able to trigger audio cues, which is why we have overlap and not ignore. Because if it ignores, it won't trigger overlap responses. So let's go ahead and save that. We have everything set up that we need. So the next step is getting the sounds hooked up. So I'm going to be right back so that I can just kind of get some sounds into Wwise, because you don't necessarily need to see that part. Alright, I am back, having assembled a few things here. So over in... Just move the mic a little closer. Over in Wwise, I created some buses for later, a dialogue, a music, and an SFX. You don't have to do this right now. I'm just doing it ahead of time for future videos. But I did create a weapon pickup sound so that that's a little bit less boring for today. I started setting up weapon impacts, but I don't own any rubber balls. So I need to go do that. And I do have a new weapon shot, which is currently set to underwater. As well as 3 different footsteps, concrete, dirt, and grass, just to get started with that. And for game syncs, I created a state with out of water and underwater, just so that we could play around with that really quick. In fact, I might try to do that first, because theoretically that should not take very long. So over in Unreal, I already set up the events for the shooting and the weapon pickup. I figure we pretty much covered how to do basic post events in the first episode. I'm actually really enthused with how that sounds. All right, so in order to get the state to work, we need to have it trigger when we overlap. So I think the best way to handle that is to have the event trigger when the player overlaps. Event actor begin overlap. Set state. And we're just gonna set the state group manually here. You do have to make sure that it is spelled exactly as you have it in Wwise. You could also just set up some text variables and then it'll be set up and you just have to attach the text variables to it, but I'm not going to do that for today. Water level with caps, out of water, underwater. Come on. Oop. What are you doing? I don't even know what you're doing. Water level. I probably hit some hotkey or something, and now it's... Oh boy, I did hit a hotkey. Give me 1 second to deal with this. Okay, there we go. I don't know, I accidentally opened Visual Studio. So water level, and then underwater. I still need to attach what I'm overlapping here. I'm going to do that in a second, or I'm going to try to do that in a second. And then, actually, I wonder if I have to also do something with the states in here. I think I do. Oh, I forgot to turn off my air conditioner. Sorry about that. It's just so hot today. State. Okay, I don't think I have to do anything with this. So we're just going to leave that alone. And then overlap on event actor end overlap. We are again going to set the state. I have this named out of water. Okay, and now I just need to get a reference to the water, which I think I need to just have this have a blueprint so it's actually an actor instead of a primitive shape. Ooh, that's not what I want. Trying really hard to remember how this worked. There we go. Okay, so one way that this isn't the way that I handled it before. I can't remember how I handled it in the past, but I added a tag to this, calling it water. So let's see if that works. Water. That as well. Oh, okay. I can only do it once. Fine. On actor begin overlap. If other actor has the water tag, set state to underwater, else do nothing, and then similarly when we end overlap and the other thing has water, set state to out of water. Let's see if that works. Really, the idea here is that the state changes as soon as we overlap. As long as it works. Hey, look at that. You know, it would actually be very helpful to also print string just so that I can see that it's going on properly. You're not printing the string though. Print to screen. Color, let's make it something a bit easier to see. I don't know if that's going to be easier to see, if I'm honest. Huh. It's only working while I'm inside the edge, on the edge of the box. Just not how it should work. So hold on. Go figure that this is the thing that's going to get me today. But that's coding. Cast to overlap dynamic still blocks projectiles, huh? Well, let's fix that. Boop. There we go. All right. Now that we have that, cast to water volume. That's what I was looking for. I had to make it a full-fledged actor. Which means if I really wanted to, we could play as the water. As water volume. Nope. Okay, so if the cast fails, nothing happens. I think... yeah, so if the other actor is the water volume, it does the thing. Water. Cast to water volume. Bloop. Bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. Save, compile. And now we just need to get this out of here. What the heck? What are you? You're another part. No, get out of here. No, seriously. Get out of here. Okay, you know, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you think you are. Get out of here. Eh. There. Save. Get back in here. There it is. I am swimming. Drying off. Okay. Did it. Although the bullets are still bouncing off of the... Okay, that seems better. All right. Well, that took longer than it should have, but that's okay. It's been a while. Now, to do the harder part, which is getting the actor to figure out what type of ground it is standing on. Now, I only have 3 sounds. Concrete, dirt, and grass. So that's what we're going to focus on. Grass, the main ground is concrete, and we're going to make this part the dirt. So the way that I've done it in the past is every tick, every frame, shooting a line below the actor to the ground, and then it hits the ground and gets the data from it. And then it'll return what type of surface material that you are standing on, and then it'll set the switch to that material. The real question is where that part of the script is going to take place. So we're going to look at the mesh. I want to look at the mesh blueprint because that is where we have the footsteps playing in the first place. There we go, right here. So that notify is playing from the animation. This is blueprint update. So now what I need is... I could do this instead of every tick. I could do it every time the event gets triggered. Maybe. Let's see if it'll let me even do a per frame event in here. Event. No, it's not going to let me do a by frame event in here. Well, let me see if I can do, is it ray? Is it line trace? What is it called in here? Line trace. Does a collision trace along the given line and returns the first hit encountered. By profile. Using a specific profile. Let's just do line trace for objects. Get actor location. Start where the actor is and go, we'll say 500 centimeters down. Ignore self. Out hit. Get surface type. I don't know what kind of, oh, you're an inum. Surface. Current surface. To wonder, can I set this to text? To text? I can. So we'll go ahead and no, we're gonna make this a string. Enum to string. There we go. If equals I need a different, is there no string equal exactly string? There we go. And this, get reference. Now if those are exactly the same, then if those are exactly the same, nothing happens. We just play the event. Otherwise, we will set the current surface to this. And then set switch The switch group is materials, capital M. Oh my god, why are you opening Visual Studios? I do not want Visual Studios open. Stop it. Nope, 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 nope. Stop. Okay. And if that happens, I would like to print string to that, please. Okay. So now, every time this event gets called, it's going to look at the thing below me. If the surface is the same as what's in the variable, it's just going to play a footstep. If it's not the same as what's in the variable, it's going to change the variable. Then it'll set the switch. Oh, I still needed to play a footstep. Okay. This should... Where's this? The current value, object type query 1, pin is invalid. Must have input wired in. By channel. There we go. Silly me. I just had the wrong version. Okay. Compile. No errors. Save. Okay, now the big thing is making sure that the string works. Default. See, now this... Ooh, hey. Yeah, so... This is the problem that I ran into last time, in that it wouldn't actually see... So hold on, before... Let's move the print string someplace earlier in the... Let's move this. Just do this. Move this over here. And put this immediately after this. There we go. Default, 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 default. It's all hitting default. Now, if I... Let's delete this. Now we get to do some troubleshooting. If I go over here, do I have anything interesting? Okay, right here. On tick. Do the same thing. line trace by channel. Get reference to self. Location. Get position. Nope. There we go. Get actor location. That. Negative 500. Print string. Get surface type. Pop that in there. There. Just doing that. There we go. Okay. So, it is, in fact, although the metal here is apparently very small. Wood. There it is. Grass. Okay. So it is seeing things. So I think the problem is that I'm doing it in the animation blueprint. Oh, I also don't have the actor getting set up. The post event is that actor, and it's the owning actor there. So, what if... I'm just going to leave this here for now. Let's go back over here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to play around with this for a second. Current surface. And we're going to make you a string. Assuming that's the right one. If get reference equals that, do nothing. Otherwise, set current surface to this. And set switch. Get reference to self. Switch group. Materials. Switch state to that. Heck yeah. Of course, it would really help if it would see the entire block of these areas. Okay. I should have turned it up for you by the time this video goes out. My footsteps are very quiet. But you should be able to hear them because I'll turn it up for you. Anyways, we got it to work. That actually took less time than setting up the states did for the water. But anyways, that is how I set up currently, how I set up switches for footsteps in Unreal 5. Next time, I will, once I have some good recordings, I'll do this. Why did it play that sound again? I'll have to debug that. I will set up materials for the walls so that we can also trigger different sounds for gunshots. It's pretty much going to be the same thing, except it's going to be on collision. So it's going to be a combination of what we did for the states today as well as the switches. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and be done for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I know that this one was kind of all over the place. If there is anything specific that you would like to see, how my take might be for getting something done using Wwise and Unreal, please feel free to let me know. I would love to actually tailor my videos to what it is that people need. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you so very much, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.